Welcome to the Great Whites podcast series, collaboration between the Sharks and Sharkcast. And we're here to talk about and talk with former greats. And we're here with Shark number 345, Phil Bailey. How are you, sir?
Good, thank you. Very good indeed.
Thanks for your time.
Yep.
We're going to get to know you a little bit better, and we'll focus on what's happening for you at the Sharks over your time here, but also before and after. But growing up in Inverell.
Yes.
Tell us about the town of Inverell.
It's a small town, big footy town, big sporting town when I grew up. Not so much now, like most small country towns, but yeah, we had 2 rugby league teams from under 8s to under 16 split by the river. So if you lived on the west side of town, you played for Inverell West, which was pretty much Manly colours, the home strip of Manly, and then Inverell East was the away strip of Manly, so predominantly white with maroon stripes. Yeah, we played all the way through there. My brother and I played basketball, did everything all the other kids did. We sort of lived on the outskirts of town, just on before it got subdivided. Yeah, just a lot of time in the bush and shooting, doing all those sort of great things, farming with our mates. So we'd get on the school bus on a Friday afternoon, come back Monday morning or Sunday night. Yeah, you'd be out there left to your own devices with a lot of fun things to play with, and yeah, it was great.
Tell us about your brother Chris, who played at the NRL level.
Yeah, he had a stellar, little purple patch there where he played for Newcastle, and he had a great team behind him, like with Bedsy and Joey and all that sort of vintage, and he played really well. I think he scored a triple in one game, then was signed by Manly, but he got a lot of injuries, soft tissue injuries, where I was more of the breaker. All my stuff, most of my injuries, I broke bones.
Right.
Yeah, but he had a bit of an unlucky run there, then ended up going to England and playing a pretty good career in England, and yeah.
Did you ever cross over at the same club?
We didn't. No. I was playing for Cronulla when he was playing for Manly or Newcastle, and he was always injured when we ever played each other. Oh,
so you never played each other?
Never played each other.
Wow,
no.
okay.
It was lined up a few times, but it didn't happen.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So, footy family, aside from the brother, was the parents, the uncles, everyone into it, or?
Oh, not really. Dad didn't play. He broke his kneecap when he was really young, so he sort of then moved into basketball. Mum's super sporty. Even when in her mid to late 60s, Mum was still playing competitive mixed doubles, and ranked in Australia, in the senior tournament. So we always joke that we get all our sporting ability or any ability from Mum around the sporting side. So yeah, she still plays now. She she towels up me and my brother, and she's pretty good.
Tell us about playing for Northern Division as a teenager, and the scouts start sniffing around you. Tell us about that kind of era and that part of your life.
Well, that was your pathway out. So back then, especially in Northern New South Wales, Western Division, all those divisions, all the clubs had staked their ground, put their flags out, and it was either our area was the Roosters. So Arthur Beetson was big in that area, and also to Newcastle. Clearly, we're in that sort of northwest region. And you go to those trials and they'd all descend, all the sort of talent scouts would descend on that area, and that was sort of how you got picked up, unless you were outstanding. You're playing Australian schoolboys, or you're playing, combined Catholic colleges and CHS, those sort of things. Yeah, and I was lucky enough, there was a guy named John Reid who was doing some lower grade coaching for Manly at the time, and we were playing games on the Central Coast, and he saw me play. And Damien Bow was another kid as well too, who was from Woodlawn. He was the pick of him. Manly had already signed, and then John convinced Manly, Frank Panisi, to sign me, without a trial or anything like that. At Manly. He said, you should get this kid. He'll be a good investment. We had trials at Newcastle. They said, no, it's okay. You can go back home for another couple of years. Don't worry about it. Penrith as well too.
Wow.
Had a couple of trials there. But Manly was, they took John, all through John Reid, And how it happened was he knew a school teacher that was one of my school teachers in Inverell, and he had actually moved to the Central Coast to open a gym, and they got talking. He goes, I know him, etc.
Did you feel like your form, for want of a better word, was that good at the time? Did you know you were sort of a cut above?
No. I was just toiling there as a little bit. Didn't know really. In some teams I was playing fullback, 5'8", second row, a little bit in the divisional stuff.
Fullback?
When I was younger, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but then just, I don't know, I think the scouts look for other things. Obviously the talented ones, they're easy to pick. You grab them, they just stand out. But Reedy and a few others saw something that they thought they could develop. And I remember, I think it was Frank Panisi who just said, when I first did come to Manly, I was 90 kilos, not even that, sorry, it was about 86 kilos, wring wet, trying to get to 90 for that jersey flag. And they just said, mate, don't worry about that. We've we've picked you for different attributes. The easiest thing to do in professional sport is put on size and strength.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. Boom.
Okay.
You got the frame. They said, look, you're a 6'1" and change, so you probably get to 6'2", 6'3", and we can just build that out after that.
And so you were signed, and then what? You went back home for a while, or?
Yeah, so they signed me. So we did some trials. I was in year 11 and 12, sort of that time, I think it was.
Yeah.
Two of the kids I trialled with went to John Paul Marion at Penrith. They signed them straight up. They come home after about 6 to 8 months. Manly said, no, what we've found out now is that most of you country kids, or if we bring you down too early, you'll go home homesick and you'll never get a chance. So what we'll do is we'll just sign you up. Like, it was a contract was like $1,500 a year or something like that. And we will bring you down and fly you down for all our sort of in the school holidays. That's where you'll come down and you'll just train with the Jersey Flegg squads and things like that. And that was it. They left me there to finish year 12. When I finished year 12, I didn't go on schools. I went straight down to pre-season training when I was like 17, and that was it at Manly.
And so first year at Manly was 97?
97, yeah. So David Hosking was my coach, the great mule. So there's good times there. Learnt a lot.
Did the ARL Super League kind of thing, were you aware of what was going on in reality, or was it just you vaguely knew as a kid what was going on?
No, we knew, like, we're big footy fans, so
Yeah.
we knew there was like the divide. Like most of the country people, because it was Newcastle,
Yep.
we're all ARL.
Okay.
More, not Super League.
Yeah.
That was the thing at the time. And then most people like myself, we were just hoping to get picked up by someone. But
Yeah.
there's a better chance because you've got 2 comps now getting picked up. Yeah.
And tell us about 97, a big year for Manly, obviously. Went almost all the way.
Yeah.
How was that being around that in the club?
It was good. Well, I was still back in Inverell then, so we
you were
watched
still in
that
Inverell.
grand final. Yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
And they lost. And the next year I come down.
Gotcha.
And then, like, I remember going to training and Tubes and that, they would all come back a bit later. We got to train with the first grade squad. Bozo was great, bringing young people into that sort of environment early doors.
Right.
And so was Frank Panissi and all of them. There was a really good exposure to the older guys.
So young Phil Bailey's just hanging around Bob Fulton.
No, I wasn't hanging around Bozo, but my first grade game actually was supposed to be, so we were playing at Newcastle and I was tagged to play I was starting off the bench. Sorry, I was on the bench.
Yeah.
Then the day of the game, Neil Tierney said, no, I can play. So Peter Sharp was the coach at the time. And Bozo, in great Bozo fashion, just said, Sharpie, come over, and parents there, all that. And he was like trying to be, look, and Bozo just went, hey, the kid knows the rules. Son, Tierney's in, you're out, go get your stuff. I'll wait for you here, I'll dry you over, and you'll start reserve grade.
Oh.
So he just waited in the foyer for me, come down, Bozo drove straight into Marathon Stadium, like where you're not supposed to park. He literally goes past the guy who goes, excuse me, and he winds in the window and he goes, oh, Bob Fulton. He goes, yeah, thanks, mate. Just drives through right to the front of the back gates of Marathon Stadium. The bloke goes, you can't park here, mate. And down he goes, oh, Bob Fulton. Oh, no. He goes, get out, son. I'll find a park. And then, anyway, so went out. Literally, they were ready to warm up. So, not warm up, go out and play. Right. They got enough time to put all my gear on. And then Bozo had made the call already. So-and-so's going to the bench. The kid's got to start. Let him go. And it was great, actually, because then I got pulled off after about 65, 70 minutes, something like that. And Bozo was sitting on the bench. And he just, as I walked past him, he just went, well done, son. That was it. Right. And if you get a well done from Bozo, that is very good, because if he needs to talk to you, you're usually in trouble. Otherwise, you're doing your job.
You played a few years lower grades.
Yep.
And then 99 was your NRL debut, age 19 against the Rabbitohs.
Yes.
I'm guessing the family was there for that one?
Yeah. I don't know, actually. Yeah, no. I think they did. I think they did come up for it. Yeah, or down for it.
Tell us about that.
It was good, nerve-wracking. Yeah. It was, and then just getting out there. Like, I was probably underdone a bit, but there was a bit of a change at Manly, like a lot of old players going and younger ones sort of coming through. So I got the opportunity, like myself and Adam Brown, was another guy there, Greg Ebrell, younger guys that they were sort of trying to blood into the side. I guess they knew they weren't really grand final contenders or semi-contenders, but we started to, especially under the guidance of Peter Sharp, like trying to push that newer, younger kids through. But I just remember, I think I got knocked out really early because I got hit by Sean Garlick, because I looked at him, he's the littlest guy, I'll just run at him, I hit, and then Matt Parsons come over the top in the old head slam days and just bounced me off the bounced me off the turf. And I remember standing up, so I played the ball, looked the wrong way. And Brian Hollis, the sheriff, the famous trainer, just spun me in the right direction and pushed me and goes, "Go, son, kick chase."
Wow.
And that was it. That was about probably the most I remember from that game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
just sheriff running me down the field.
Wow. Okay. So you have a number of foot injuries throughout your career.
Yes.
And this starts around this time.
Uh-huh.
What's the deal there with your feet?
Well, I have so it's got poor circulation. It's called like a marching fracture, like a Jones fracture they call it. So it breaks just from stress and overuse.
Oh.
So we did a lot of running on tartan tracks when the Northern Eagles come together, and that's when it first broke. I just had this pain in my foot, went to the doctor, did an x-ray, said, "Oh, you got a broken foot, that's your problem." So that happened, they come back and they played, they put screws in it, then I ended up breaking the other side of that foot, then broke it with the screw in. So that topsy-turvy.
Is this a common thing?
I don't know, I've talked to a lot of people, a lot of them had it. It was a good story with Doc Givney, and when we get to Cronulla, because they had a typical Opes.
I've got it marked out for you, don't worry.
Different thought on like getting surgery. So, but I get those surgeries in Northern Eagles, and then it would just come back and it'd break again or it'd crack, and
right.
so I just needed to rest, needed a lot of rest, and that's where it sat for a long time.
How was your time at Manly?
Manly was fantastic. Northern Eagles bit was really good because I got great exposure to a lot of really good players. Like in the merge, so you got Adam Muir, Michael Butner, Jason Taylor.
Did everyone get along? Like Manly and Norths?
No, I don't. Especially at the time, the players do their best to all get along, but especially with the older players, there's a lot of back rowers there.
Yeah.
And then we're kids coming through as well. There wasn't much room, and there was a bit of argy-bargy.
Okay.
Behind the scenes in the office, I think it was even worse.
Yeah.
But you look back on it now, the culture for the Northern Eagles just wasn't there. It just wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
Too many, they put everybody together in a huge squad, and actually Chris Anderson tried to sign me at Melbourne when that come. I didn't make the top 30.
Yep.
So they rang David Gallup and said, "Look, the kid's not in the top 30. We'll take him to Melbourne now." And then Manly sort of Northern Eagles made room for me in it. And Opes is good. He said, "Look, son, if you want to do this, then we'll just take it to court with the news court lawyers or whatever they do. We'll just take it to court. We'll win. But if you don't want to be, you're only a young fella, if you want to be on the papers and all that sort of stuff, it'll be in the papers. But if you don't, then let's just, split swags, and maybe we'll get together at another time down the road."
So how did Chris Anderson get so attached to you? Like, obviously he's
Theo Burgess.
Student of the game was Theo Burgess?
Theo Burgess. So he's the one who said, "We'll get this kid."
guy.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, then when we were playing for the Northern Eagles, I would see Theo at our games in the stands. And then I heard
Was he
they went to
specifically checking you out?
No, he'd watch every game of
Yeah,
footy.
okay.
Yeah. And he always used to say to us, "You can't watch it on video. You need to be up there in the stands looking down to see everything they do, what they do off the ball, what they do."
Yeah.
And that was it. Yeah. Theo then just reached out when we heard that Chris Anderson got the Cronulla job. Northern Eagles at that time as well too were breaking up. No one knew it was going to be Norths or Manly.
Yeah.
Arco stepped in and go, "We're going to go to Manly." But that all happened.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. after sort of Cronulla had already come and said, "Hey, we'll make you an offer. You want to come to Cronulla? We've got a new team. New coaching team coming across."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was that like midway in 01 approximately? Or?
Yes, I think so, yeah. Because the rumours were going around like it's not working, the Northern Eagles, it's got to be done. We don't know whether it's going to go to North Sydney or Manly. Yeah. But we don't know, yeah. Because there's one time there, I remember a game we played the West Tigers, and because the culture up the top was not doing what it was supposed to do, even the coaches, and they said, "Well, we don't want to do it. We don't even wear your Northern Eagles uniform. Just turn up in civvies to the game." So there's a bit of a like, well, come on, find a solution here. Like, what are we? Northern Eagles, North Manly, what is it? And it was anyway, then that seemed to speed things up a little bit.
In hindsight, I mean, there was at the same time very mild talks between St George and Cronulla. Yeah. It would be the same thing, it's just disaster.
Disaster, yeah. Like just hatred there for so long, and then go, right, we're all going to just be bedfellows.
Okay, so 02, big year for the Sharks. Phil Bailey makes his debut for the Sharks. It's a new era. Opes has come in. We keep referring to Opes. Opes, for our younger viewers, is Chris Anderson. Yep. Johnny Lang's out, and it's just It's a new era.
It's a new era, and it didn't go well to start with.
We'll get to that. Tell us about what you remember about pre-season and just coming here and that kind of thing.
So hard.
Yeah.
So hard, mate. And yeah, it was just, the beatings will continue until morale improves pretty much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was designed to just like, let's find out now who can cut it, the way we're going to play this game.
Yep.
As opposed to finding out in round 10 that, look, we shouldn't have bet on this guy, he's not going to make it through. And we got some tough blokes too, of carrying like people like Birdie, Gal. I think Gal even says it's one of the toughest off seasons he's ever had in his life. Yeah.
So, along with yourself, the Sharks get Brett Kimmorley, Matt Johns, and Danny Nutley.
Yep.
So very good crew coming along. Tell us about Chris. Let's go to Chris Anderson straight away.
Yep.
Tell us about him, and we'll talk about him throughout. But he came to the club, great reputation as far as winning titles and coaching rep football, that kind of thing. But also a guy who, I don't know if controversy is the right word, but didn't get along with everyone, which isn't the crime of the century. Comes to Cronulla. Cronulla have a reputation of not being able to win comps because they haven't won a comp. Tell us about Opes in the pre-season. Like, he had a point to prove, do you think?
Oh, definitely. They brought him in here to win a comp. Yeah, and maybe even a bit of a culture shift as well too, with older players that were hanging around a little bit too long, bring a lot of new younger kids in.
Yeah.
He did clean the decks quite a bit. I know there's lots of controversy bringing Brett Kimmorley over.
Yes.
But we were sort of lucky to get Noddy because he'd had signed somewhere else, and I don't know if the stories are true, but then a couple of the St George players, we definitely signed with St George, and a couple of St George players made this Aussie side on the weekend, so they already had their salaries bumped up as part of their contract, which then left Noddy not being able to fit under the cap. So then he was a free agent. Because I remember he was, they got him at a good steal, a good price anyway, the first year, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, are you sort of pinching yourself playing alongside these guys? Is it, because it's probably a more high profile?
Definitely. Well, I played with Noddy at Northern Eagles.
Gotcha.
So I knew him from there, and I was, and on that, over my career, I was very lucky to have a good footy education from a lot of good halves. So I got to play reserve grade with Cliff Lyons. I played first grade with Jeff too. He played first grade with Cliffy Lyons.
Okay.
Had Noddy, Brett Kimmorley, Noddy, Matty Johns, then England, Trent Barrett. Then you have in rep footy, I was lucky enough to play with Joey and Lockie as well too. So I had like my halves were always pretty good.
Fed well.
Was very, very good. And the education you get from them, especially as a back rower, just like Matt Johns would pick my runs for the first I reckon 15 games in my Cronulla career.
Yeah.
Don't take this one, go. Yeah, things like that. So that education is unbelievable.
We'll talk about Matty because you did have a very close on-field relationship with him. So we play Melbourne, beat Melbourne. Your first game is for the Sharks here against Melbourne.
Yep.
We win. You score off the bench.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I don't really know. I very rarely can recall too many games. Yeah, it's funny now. If they're ever on, I sort of watch them now and go, oh, right, yeah.
It's funny because I told a few mates that I were interviewing Phil Bailey. Everyone's really excited. And they 3 or 4 guys said, oh, he scored off the bench on his debut. I went, oh, yeah, cool.
More than me.
And they also talk about Origin scoring. Is that right, scoring? No, starting the fight off the bench.
Yes.
We'll talk about that, though.
Yes.
So people do remember your career maybe better than what you do. So beat Melbourne, happy days.
I think that was a big one for Opes as well, too, how he left Melbourne.
Yeah.
So we were,
Okay.
Everyone was very keen to win that one.
What's Opes like at this point, round one? I can see him being kind of nervous, but fired up.
Yeah, you know what? What you see Opes in front of the camera is completely the opposite of what you see him out. So he's the calmest guy in the sheds before the game. A little bit of instruction. Well, his motto is, mate, if I have to tell you what to do an hour before the game, well, we haven't prepared good enough during the week. There's nothing I can say, or if I have to give you a rah-rah speech in here, then we're in trouble, boys.
Gotcha, okay.
Like, I'm just here to, couple quick messages. It's always just around kick, chase and defence. All right, off you go.
Okay.
Yep.
So big win for him here. We beat Dragons, beat Panthers, lose to Brisbane, beat the Tigers. We've won 4 out of the opening 5.
Yeah.
People like me are like, happy days, this is it. Opes is the answer. Phil Bailey's the answer. Great stuff. Then for some reason, and they're all by big margins, we lose 7 straight.
Yes.
What can you put that down to?
If you're in hindsight now, when you look back at it, it would be we've just been overcooked. We trained so hard, and then we hit the ground running.
Okay.
Bang, out of the blocks, and then all of a sudden fatigue. A lot of younger players, like Gal's his first or second year in first grade. I'm only like 1 or 2 years into first grade. Your older players, then like your Matty Johns and that, are already going, oh man, we got 15 games left here still, and I think he had a hamstring injury at one stage as well, and I think we peaked a little bit too early. And then we had this little rut. I think we eased off the training. I'm trying to think back a little bit and just,
So it's probably at this point, media, fans, they're going, oh, what's going on? I do remember, stories, like newspaper reports about, I think at one point Danny Nutley's, sticking up for the coach at a press conference, and Opes is obviously never going to back down from a fight anywhere. But we turn it around in a massive way. We win 11 in a row. What do you got?
I do remember that. That was here, St
Dragons,
George.
yeah.
Were we 13-0 down at half time?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I remember there was a field goal somewhere.
Yes, 13-0 down. I think we come back to win 30-something to 13, didn't we? Something like that. Yeah. But I do remember going in at half time and Opes just saying, guys, just stick to the plan. We've got this.
Okay.
We've got this. It'll turn. And when it turns, the floodgates are open. It'll turn. Trust me. We're getting it. And he used to say that out of all those 7 losses, don't worry, boys. What I say out here, don't worry about it. In here, we know. We've got a plan. We know where we are. We know what we're striving to do. It'll turn. And when it does, it'll turn in a big way.
So, 7th loss in a row, you're still, we got this. As a playing group?
As a playing group, yes. It was difficult because we were losing big, but I don't know, we had this, every time we turned up to training, it was a really good environment. Yeah. Everyone was happy. Everyone you could feel it. We were super fit. Yeah. And Opes used to say, our motto will be, we'll win 1-0 in the 79th minute. Okay. And then he said, when and I think Matty, because him and Matty used to talk quite a bit. Yeah. So I don't know which one come up with it, but they said, they come to us and said, like, you'll see in the opposition's eyes that they got us. Okay. You'll be able to tell that they're just hanging on. And when you get that, you put the throttle down and you go.
So then we win 11 straight from round 13 to 24.
Yep.
Everyone's happy again. Phil Bailey's the answer. Matt John's the answer. It was that kind of, like, especially with Chris Anderson, those 2 years was such a roller coaster. Yep. So tell us about the 11 game streak. Like, towards the end of it, are you thinking we could do something special here?
Yeah, I think we stumbled in the semi as well too. One of the semis.
We'll get to that.
So, but all through there, we just had that confidence, like I spoke about. That was the bit where we're down 13-0, so throwing the towel in and limping through against St George. We put the cleaners through them. Then after that gave us the confidence. Right, everyone who might have been on the fence, maybe we are training too hard, maybe it's too much, went, all right, we've got this. Like, we'll win this on the back of kick chase, fitness. Then our skill come into play. And as we got to know each other, know how Noddy played, because you remember at that stage, Noddy played this really flat style of attack. And everyone was like bagging it. Like, that's, why are they doing that? It's great, they need to get deeper. And now you look at it, everybody plays flat attack. He gets
so tell us about that, because was that more of a Kimmorley thing than an Anderson thing?
Both. Anderson,
in Melbourne.
That was the thing. And they used to say, mate, get up on the advantage line. If you have a heart attack, you still make a meter. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. If you just fall over and then they've got to go back, you're already up there. Why you got to get the run up? You're giving them a chance.
Interesting.
To come forward. So, you just step over that advantage line and it's just death by 1,000 cuts, like down, up, quick pedal, down, up, quick pedal. By tackle 5, they may not be back where they need to be, then Noddy's off.
Is it easier for someone running the ball because you've got less meters for a run up? Like, a sillier question as that is, like, because you're probably running less, I guess.
Yes, less. Yeah.
So you've got more energy in the tank.
Yeah, and we trained for that as well too. Like, a lot of the stuff we did, especially in the gym with Aaron Salisbury, and then later Trent Elkin, was all explosive, just to be top speed after 3 steps. Yeah. And Glenn Lazarus used to do it naturally, just walk behind the play of the ball, and he was at full tilt after 2 steps and over the advantage line. And one of the best front rowers ever.
So last game of the year at regular season's here at Shark Stadium, and we lose. So the streak is over. We lose 30-18 to the Roosters. Very physical game. Yeah. And then we play them again a week later, one of those rare things.
Yep.
Our first semi-final at the SFS, 32-20 we lose. Our man Noddy, not good with the boot that day.
No.
And we can say that because we're friends with Noddy. 0 from 5. Yeah. Craig Fitzgibbon, our saviour, Craig
coach.
Fitzgibbon, 6 out of 6.
Yeah.
But yeah, very close game. What are your memories of that?
I don't know. I do remember a lot of offloads. I remember Oates was, so I think I made, I don't know, it was like 12 offloads in that game. So that was, and played pretty well. Mm-hmm. Just on the back of that. And then I got the confidence to offload because I don't know what game it was here at Shark Park and I was just on half time. And I went through half through the line, I hung my hand out and I was going to pass it and Peach was flying through and the first time, and I pulled it back and then threw it again and hit the person's back and it was over. Okay. And Opes pulled me in after the game, he said, mate, do not ever do that again. Like I watch you train for that and practice that at training all the time. You just doubted yourself at the death. If you never train for it, then I'd probably say, hey mate, put the offload away, just run hard. But he encouraged it and he said, mate, if you just did it the first time out of instinct, Peach would have been on the sticks. They wouldn't have touched him. But you doubted yourself, don't do it. And that's the sort of coach Opes was in the background, the stuff that people don't see. He has that, he'd back you to the hill.
Let's talk about Matty Johns because you had a great on-field relationship with him. And as you said, he sort of set you up early on, but then I remember you just had a great partnership. Obviously we know what he's like, having watched him in the media. Obviously he's a player as well. Yeah. He's got that great football brain. What was it like playing with him?
It was very, very helpful for a young guy, especially when. So, I didn't know Matty when I come here, but I knew Adam Muir from playing at Northern Eagles. So he rang Matt and said, "Oh, there's a young kid back row. He's pretty good. He's all right. You'll be able to help him out as well too. But a good bloke." So we met each other going up the stairs of the PCYC at Sutherland. And said, "Oh, Matt Hagan." So he come back late from Wigan and started later. He goes, "Oh yeah, Hertzie told me about you. We'll get a beer or something like when we're back on deck." And anyway, just like, the sort of the cosmic ballet with the new guys all sort of me, Nuts, Noddy, Denny Nutley, Matty, all together, older seasoned blokes over here. Then the guys you sort of knew and so that took a bit of time as well. But we naturally got to know each other a lot quicker because we're the new guys. Yeah. And then I think Matty, I don't know who he spoke to. He spoke to one of the other halves. I don't know if it was Noddy or maybe Nick Graham. And just said, "Oh, what side do you play on?" They said left. Matty goes, "I'll play on the right." And then I was on the right, so someone else wanted to play on the left. Yeah. And then we teamed up, and he said, "Right, this is what I'm going to need you to do if we're going to be successful." And then he slowly just coached me through. And the good thing is, you like having a coach on the field. Yeah, that was the best thing. And as he got a little bit older that year, and things started to break on him, he would limp around, not limp around, but he'd get through the games. But 90% of his job was to get. Push me, take this one, don't take that one. Yeah. And he'd always there's these little plays that he'd work on with Dean Treaster around that 9 area and Noddy. Yeah, so it was a great education, and on-field education, which is very rare.
Yeah, and I imagine you guys would have had a few beers off the field as well.
Couple, yes. Yeah.
So one of my favourite Sharks games is the next week, the semi-final local derby at the SFS. We win quite well. I think you're playing in the centres.
Maybe, yeah.
Because you're always opposing Mark Gasnier. And he would have to be in the prime centre at that point.
I might have had, would Chris McKenna be in the centre and I was the back row then?
Chrissy McKenna, I don't know if he was still around then. Was he around then?
Yeah, I think he was, definitely in 2002, I was in front of Gaz.
Gaz may have come to you, may have come in.
Yeah.
And he scores the first try. And he gives you a little verbal, and Sharks fans are like, "Oh, this is terrible," And then within, I think, 5 minutes, marching up the field, go right. I'm sure Noddy's involved. I'm not sure if Matty's still on his feet or not at this point. You slam over Mark Gasnier, get up, one of my favourite moments in Shark history, throw the ball at his head, and you had a great game. And it was a great atmosphere. The Sharks fans going berserk. Matty John's last rugby league game. Yeah. Pretty badly hurt. Yep. And Greg Bird comes on and plays 5/8, which is, history in the making anyway.
Yes.
Do you have any good memories about that game?
No, that was a good memory because now that you do say that, I think I might have been moved to the centre for some reason, but it was, I know because Gasnier's got me for, class, speed, all of it. So the thing I've got to get him on is physicality.
Yeah.
So, and that was it. And when he did give a little bit of verbal, and I said, well, yeah, you've got to take it to him now because he does have it. He's got me dead to rights for skill. So,
what was it like marking up against a guy like that when you did?
Yeah, look, it's difficult. You just need to do,
Because you played a lot of centres.
Well, that was another thing that Ope said as well too. He said the game's changing. He said centres are big now, and it's no different defending one in than there is like just one person in. And now when you look at it, most centres, back rowers can also. You got your class like your Gaznia, a Lomax would like to be a class centre, but your Latrells, all those sort of guys who are just in their prime were great centres. But now it's a bit of a hybrid model. You can stick your back rower out there and he can play in the centres. It's just, you've got to be good defensively. And the only difference is if you're defending in the back row, you get a little bit more help. If you're defending in the centre and you miss or they skip, you're done. It's done. It's 2-on-1 or they're gone. But no, it was a good education. Then I think I had to play centres the next week as well too.
Yeah, didn't go so well, although very close game. When I say didn't go so well, I meant at a club level. Play the Warriors, massive crowd. That week, I think their owner they bought 20,000 seats for people with passports. So the Sharks, who had the home ground advantage, that was out the window. Massive crowd, amazing game. My memories of that as a fan, there's a Paul Mellor turnover try. Peachy gets run down right in front of me as a fan. And then John Carlaw scores that heartbreaking try at the end. Great game. What was it like for you playing in front of such a big crowd and grand finals on the line?
It was huge. Like it just coming from especially from the Northern Eagles where you knew that we just weren't at that level. And then to so quickly come to Cronulla and look, you're nearly here. You nearly done it in the first year to get there. And then just be stopped dead. And we'd beaten the Warriors. Like we had the wood on the Warriors a bit that year and we were very confident in it. And just I think injuries at a bad time of the year it cost us as well. I think, and then that's history. They had good players as well too. Like
great.
Jones and those guys. So
great team. So long off season for players, for fans, licking the wounds, but everything's looking pretty good, right? Your foot has a problem. Started 2003.
Yes.
One of Ope's famous day-long, I don't know, fitness sessions or whatever.
Oh, and that was a run through the national park up here at Southo. Like we used to do those runs like all the time. And all that happened was this was a rocky road, so I just went down into like a hole and just went crack. And I heard, oh no. So I tried to keep running, no, got back. And Tony looked at it and he just give it one little, just pulled the bone, like it's broken. I was like, oh no, not again. Anyway, there was doom and gloom on one side, and then Doc Givney to the rescue. We did the x-ray, went and saw Doc Givney. He had a look at it and he goes, no, that's Army. People in the Army get them all the time, like typical Doc Givney fashion. Yeah, mate, it's just like, they call it a marching fracture. If you can put up with the pain, you'll be right. You just need a bit of time to heal and you should be right. So we went, okay. So we took that information and I was also in the dressing room or wherever the office was then, when Opes got the call from Doc, because I heard, fuck, and the phone went across the room. But then what happened was Tony Ayu went to work, so they put a TENS machine on me. I used to sleep with it. Tony taught me about visualization. So every time you go to sleep at night, and maybe hocus pocus, I don't know, but it did seem to work. He said, just visualize your bone laying down over that crack over and over again with the TENS machine and fall asleep like that. Just do it. And see, it can't hurt. It's broken. You can either get a pin in it and be out for 6-8 months, or you'd be like your Northern Eagles crew, or give this a go and we'll keep you off the running, do heaps of swimming, things like that, and see how it goes. So Opes made a deal with us. He goes, right, I'll give you, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks off before our first trial. Might have been at Port Macquarie. If you can play 20 minutes in that trial, then you don't have to do any more, you won't have to play any more trials. And then if you're fit, if they give you the okay, you're fit to start round one, I'll pick you. You don't have to go get surgery. And that was the plan, and it worked.
So it just slowly healed.
Slowly healed. And it would, if I went the wrong way, the calcium that had built up around it, and when you looked at the x-rays, you could see the calcium all around it, there'd be a little crack through it, and that'd be, so they know to ease off.
Okay.
But then they also chocked my boot up so it wouldn't put so much pressure on that outside. And they said you can't take needles because if you take a needle, you'll smash it to pieces and you won't feel it till the needle wears off and you get off the game. So you just got to put up with the pain. We'll limit your running during the week and then see how you go. When it breaks, just push yourself as hard as you can. Just go for broke. If it breaks, then you get to surgery. But let's give it a go.
So good lesson for positive thinking.
There you go. Different times.
Different times. So you're fit and you play in what is a historic game at Shark Park against Melbourne Storm. We race out to a big lead, like a really big lead. But Billy Slater's making his debut.
Yeah.
And it's one of the great comebacks in NRL history.
Yeah.
Unfortunately against us, they win 36-32.
Yep.
And we do go on to lose the opening 6 games. Interestingly enough, 2 byes in the first 8 weeks. So stiffed by the officials. What are your memories of the Melbourne game?
Again, I'm not really sure. I remember Billy being that was being his debut, and I remember Cameron Smith playing it as well too.
Yeah.
But they were a good side, Melbourne. We always wanted to play well against Melbourne because Opes was there. They still had that bit to prove.
Yeah.
That was just another game, really.
Yeah. So changes in the air.
Yep.
Treaster's gone. Nicky Graham's gone. Paul Franze's gone. Preston was gone at the start of the year. Phil Bailey and Jared Anderson are our new centres.
Yes.
We go on to win some, we lose some, we win some. Looking back in hindsight, now the season wasn't as bad as what it was in my head as a fan. In my head, it was like, oh. But there were some wins there.
Yep.
You have a good year all round, which we'll get to. But what's going on here at Cronulla in that sort of first half of the year? What's the vibe like?
Yeah, it was a bit disjointed the first bit of that year because a lot of people were out of favour, moving on, especially some of the stalwarts and a lot of experience gone.
Yeah.
So it's almost like we nearly got there.
Yeah.
We didn't get there, so we went right. We need to move people on and then build again and start again. That's sort of how I saw it at the time.
Yeah.
Difficult though, and there's a lot of new players in the side, and you still had Birdie's first full season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gal, myself, into the second one here, so still a lot of young, newer people who had a little bit of experience in semis.
Yeah.
But we lost a lot of experience. Matty John's going as well.
Yes.
He left as well in the same year.
Yes. There's a lot of guys who, fringe guys who might have played 20, 30 NRL games who make appearances that year.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some happier stuff. And that is...
It's a clunky year.
We'll get back to a big clunk.
Yeah.
But you make rep footy debuts.
Yep.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about State of Origin.
Yeah, so that was a shock. I thought I was holding my own, playing well. I think the fact that playing in the centres, playing in the back row, that definitely helped.
Yeah.
And Gus told me the story, how I got picked. He said they were looking for a hybrid person who had a lot of offloads in him, big. Gus liked big guys, either centres or back rolls, whatever it was, who could play off the bench, whether we could put him at lock, second row, play the side, and play in the centres as well too, just in case Jamie Lyon got hurt. He had a bit of an injury cloud. Gids as well. I think it might have been Killer actually who had the injury cloud. And I was, because I used to stand on the right side, so I would have been just down there. And Laurie Daly happened to be, or like working with Fox still, so he watched a heap of Saturday night games at Shark Park.
Yeah.
And when they were tossing up names, Laurie Daly went, "Oh, mate, I reckon Phil Bailey might be a chance." Like, what? And he was like, "Oh, toss up." And Gus goes, "Yeah." Then 2 or 3 weeks later, I remember I was on the sideline and I looked at you and went, "Oh, wow, you're way bigger than I thought you were in real life." Because like Channel 9, we pretty never got a Channel 9 game.
Right.
Like it was always Saturday night, Shark Park, Fox. And he goes, "Okay, sweet." And then they went to the selection committee and it was obviously Laurie, Bozo was one of them. Bozo goes, "Well, mate, I gave him his first grade debut. He'll be fine."
Yeah.
Put the kid in. And I knew Bob McCarthy a little bit through Harry Eden, so I guess maybe Bobby rang Harry Eden and said, "Hey, what do you think of the kid?" He goes, he'll be fine." And Gus said, "Okay, right, let's get him."
Because you played with such, I guess aggression is the right word, but energy and aggression. Like for a guy who was big, but you weren't the biggest guy out there on the field, like you sort of, that nice, as you said, second row centre size. but you always, up in the grill. Maybe it was the flat style that helped. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you're always just bringing a lot of energy.
Well, yeah, and you find your niche in first grade. Like, because a lot of times, like when I was coming through with Manly, like they didn't know whether I was a ball playing lock forward like a Nick Kosseff, or you're never going to be a Steve Menzies because you're not that fast. Maybe Daniel Gardner, like a good runner, but then you can sort of play in the centre, in the backs a little bit. And so I used to play 5'8" as well in the junior grades. You got a bit of ball playing. It's just like in American football, they call it a 20. You're in between. Like it's either height, weight, or where do we put you?
Yeah.
You're not really great at any of those positions, but you sort of still need to be in the side somewhere.
Yeah.
So you're a bench player. And then I just found my niche. It was like playing hard, aggressive, at the line sort of footy, and that style of play really suited me. Like Brett Kimmorley going to the line and Matty Johns, and they just said, mate, I'll get to this guy. If he turns his toes, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, we'll play at the back to Peach, or I'll take the tackle. And it just really simplified it, and you just had to catch those balls right at the coalface.
So you came off the bench in the Origin games.
Yep.
Tell us about the Shane Webke fight. Was that year?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was, yeah. Well, Gus just whips you into a frenzy. So yeah, and that's what it was. It was just like,
because I watched it and it's like a play the ball and it's like a bit of, there wasn't anything
push,
in it really.
A bit of, I think that's what Webby said when we went on the Kangaroo tour. He said, you started that, you hit me first. But I do remember getting punched in the side of the head by Gordon. Yeah, but as most rugby league fights, they don't last very long. It looks good, but it was,
Well, just, guy on debut off the bench, it's it's pretty ballsy.
Yeah, well, that was the second game. That was in Sydney where we'd done them. So Gus, the first one, a good Origin story. They had the fogs all up the top watching our last training session, and Gus was like, all right, let's.
As in the Queensland guys?
Queensland guys, they're all watching. He goes, pulled everyone in and just said, right, what we're going to do is we're just going to go do one kick off, we take one hit up, and then we're going to do then we just got to kick it back down the field and chase whatever, and that's it. Then we just got to go off the field and leave. That was our last captain's right. He said they'll go and tell the Queenslanders, this is what they got to do. They got to
amazing,
build it down to us, and they got to kick it back. It's got to be on. But then you saw what happened. We kicked off, and like Bedsy and that hit Webby, I think on the goal line. Yeah. So it was one of just the tactics with Gus here. Yeah, and very good.
Did that change you as a player, obviously? Like you just...
More confidence.
Yeah.
You could hold it at that level and you just say to yourself, look, well, I've played in that, even for a short period of time, but I could hold my own in that. So when you come back to club footy as well, and that was another thing Gus said as well too, he said, unless you're really injured, your responsibility now is to go back and make the players that got you here as part of your team better. So I don't want to be hearing these stories about, you got a sore hammy or this is sore or that's sore and you didn't play and then you got to lob up for game 2 and game 3. I expect you all to play because those blokes got you there.
That's a great attitude. So you come back to Cronulla, things don't go too well for the club, for the first grade team. A weird couple of weeks towards the end of the year. So we get pumped historically 74-4 in round 24 against Para.
We got 2 people, maybe 3 sent off, didn't we? Or,
Shane Hayne, the referee, he binned Danny Nutley.
Yeah.
Sent off Dale Newton, which Dale Newton, for our people who don't remember Dale Newton, he was a firebrand.
Yeah.
So that one might have been okay.
He might have been okay, yeah.
But David Peachy, I believe, technically sin binned, then sent off for waving his hands.
Oh, well, when he got sin binned, he said, I don't know what he said to Shane Hayne, but he wasn't happy. But as he was walking off, Shane Hayne was yelling at him. I said, Pete, keep going. I think he's going to send you. Just go up the tunnel so he can't send you. So he demanded Peach come back and then sent him off.
Yeah,
it was nothing.
Wild game. No, it's David Peachy. Like the man's an angel. So wild game. I mean, I think we might have scored first.
Yeah.
That's my brain just thinking that.
Yeah.
And we conceded 70 points.
Yeah. When you're playing with 10 people against 13 in a first grade game, it is very difficult.
So
or
say
or at 11 or so.
Are you saying if they're on the field, we go closer?
Oh, we'd go closer, but who knows? Well, you can say anything in hindsight, but I can tell you, you see the difference when someone's off the field, one person's off the field. So yeah, you got 2 for the majority of the game off the field at one stage. Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah.
Tough question. Did you guys? I'm not going to use the word give up, but did you guys just go, "This is ridiculous"?
No.
Who cares? Or
no. Still just trying, and then just Because if you wanted to give up, you just say, "I'm hurt," and come off.
Right.
You get someone to bring you off, but everyone who was out there tried. It is just.
Yeah. But it did get farcical. Like to the team's credit, again, it's my memory, but was it Matt Hilda? Someone went for a field goal, 70 points down.
Yeah.
Like that's,
Oh, yeah,
and that's
yeah.
what they should have done. Like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. But it was, yeah. And also too, yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible. Like just, that's horrible. It's hard to be beaten.
I don't expect you to remember what he said, but what would an Ope say after that? What sort of thing would he say? Would he ever laugh? Would he?
Nah, he wouldn't have laughed at that one. He was trying to go back and would just be more just as disappointing. He goes like, boys, not today, Bennett, move on. I'll take care of this outside. Because I think I had to do the press conference with him because everybody else was sent off. He said, don't worry about doing a Peach, we're not going to go in these questions. I just sat there with Opes and I was like, pretty much said it. Enough to say that it's farcical that you send that many people off, but without getting fined and also not saying much at all.
Well, yeah, the classic line is from David Peachy is, this is how I talk with my hands.
I do remember that.
Because he was apparently getting too aggressive or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the next week, in one of the great stat moments, we win 54-34 against Souths here. So we're still conceding 34 points.
Yes.
But we scored 54 and won, like in a hell of a turnaround. Yeah. Which I guess that's happened a little bit. You get your ass kicked and you come back and
you respond.
The next week, the season's over, lose to the Dogs. You play for Australia, which is awesome.
Yep.
Tell us about that.
It was good. I know I'm lucky that Opes was the coach, but there was a lot of people injured at that time of year as well too.
Yep.
I did have probably one of my better seasons, 2003 and 4. Probably I think 2004 I played better than I did in 2003. Mm-hmm. But once again, it was that hybrid player that they needed. You're on a touring squad. We played the Kiwis before. I think we played maybe a mixed side in London with someone. Then it was like France, Wales.
Over Wales, you beat Wales,
I played the French one as well too. I don't think they were sanctioned because they had one French player out. So they said, like, well, it's not going to be a test match. And same with the Wales one. So they said, it's a international, but it's not a tagged international. Sure. Yeah. So But it was good. It was a great tour. Learned a lot. Like, got to meet some great people out of it. Some good friends that are still friends now from other sides.
But you do play in the Ashes series.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So they said that. They said with the first game, I just thought I'd be part of the touring squad. They did say, look, we do need that hybrid on the bench. So I did get my first one against New Zealand, coming off the bench there. And then sort of with a few injuries, I think I snuck in as the centre. That's why I went in,
And speaking of injuries, Robbie Kearns.
Oh, that is infamous.
8
seconds or something,
So where were you in the field? You were just sort of like hanging around waiting for the ball? Like
I was up the front as a centre, I think I was, just up the front there to the right. And then I just remember kick off, like big crowd, like the English, like so loud, just boom.
Does Morley just like run past you?
No, he was on the other side of the field, thank God. But I just remember like going bang, kick off, watch it come around, Kearnsey, and then just Kearnsey going boom to the ground. Everybody in the stadium knew, even Moz, oh my God, I'm sent off. It was 10 years ago, I probably might have just stayed.
The ref quote was, it's a bad one, you're
It's
off.
a bad one,
Yeah, that's what he said.
But poor old Kearnsey, if you watch the replay, he was out before he even hit the ground.
Horrific.
Yeah, and then bounced. I think he come back on even in that game.
Ugh. Definitely not making light of it. Just one of those moments that we all sort of remember or you see the highlights of.
Yeah, and Moz, a lovely bloke and such a great bloke. After the game, he come in and had a beer with all the Aussies and there was no animosity. Him and Kearns had a beer, said, mate, I'm sorry.
He's got the white line fever,
It just went wrong.
So you, though, have an eye injury.
Yep.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so it was the last part of the game. Like it was just
really?
All three tests were just like tic-tac, sorted out by like, I think 2, 4, 6 points, something like that, the whole game. And that was the last play. They were doing a short kickoff to try and get it back. And we all went up for it. And I think Crocs' arm or one went through and his thumb went through my eye, but with enough force to break my cheekbone, like in a,
oh my God.
Yeah, crack it. So got off the field, like we recovered while they come in, the sheds, it's like all swollen and blood. And Oates goes, there you go, mate, well done, mate, you're playing for Australia, that's what happens. Hugh Hazard and Tony are going, we better check him out, Chris, first.
Oh, wow.
And I was in the shower and I must have just blown my nose a little bit or whatever and just blood, everything come everywhere. And then they were very calm, but I knew something was going on because what happened was, they said, just sit down, mate, sweet, grab a beer, you'll be right. Then I heard the English doctor, which was Dr. Chris Brooks, who happened to be my doctor in Wigan, but he was a trauma surgeon and for Manchester in Manchester hospitals. So he was the club doctor there and the Great Britain doctor. They brought him in and they started going, oh, just give me a look. Can you see this? Can you see this? Can you see that? Close this eye. I can't see this, can't see that. And you could hear him whispering.
Ugh.
And I'm like, oh God. And then he goes, right, I'm going to jump in my car and I'm going to take you to Manchester, whatever the hospital was. And we're just going to have a look. So anyway, Brooksy, to his credit, woke up whatever the eye surgeon was, admitted me to hospital that night, and woke this surgeon up. And he, on the hour, every hour, he got up and tested my eyes and put all these drops and stuff in it just to see if they would come down, because the swelling, they said, if it got too big, it'd press on some nerves and you lose your sight. So that ended up being, I was in hospital for a week, I think, a week and change after that. Then they released me and said, look, you can't play again. You'd hit that at this stage, it's still swollen and the breaks are fine, it's just your eye.
Okay.
And they said, yeah, in later life, look, you may be susceptible to a detached retina or glaucoma, and lo and behold, I had a detached retina when I was living in New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We might get to that.
Yeah. Another good story.
So we move around we're heading to 04.
Yep.
And all is not well down at our beloved Cronulla. And eventually that summer, the decision is made to let Chris Anderson go. Did you have any inkling when you're on tour that something like this was going on?
A little bit. He's taking a lot of phone calls.
Yeah,
and then because you have journos on the bus, and they are all taking phone calls and they all have a bit of a chat. And then a couple of them sidling up going, oh, someone said that you got a clause in your contract saying that Chris Anderson isn't here, you can leave. And I was like, yeah, I've got that clause, but is he leaving? And they're like, oh, no, nothing yet. But so you know where that is. They definitely got it. Yeah, got the info.
So he was replaced by Stuart Raper.
Yep.
How close were you to saying goodbye to the Sharks?
Not too much.
Did it cross your mind? Or?
Well, I didn't really have anywhere to go to, I don't think.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no, sorry, I did.
You did?
There was a few people circling the waters, but I thought I really enjoyed here, and I didn't really want to leave. And if the new coach, I didn't know who at the time, wanted me to stay, then I would stay. Yeah, and I think the media made it up a lot of like the hype around it. Like
you're an Anderson guy.
Yeah, he's an Anderson guy. He'll go. He'll fight.
Yep.
And then he'll go wherever Chris Anderson goes. But Chris Anderson didn't get a job till he had to go to Welsh Rugby, and I wasn't going to Welsh Rugby in 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a lot of media hype around. I didn't really want to leave. I'd only leave if I was forced to. But it was a good news story.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like it, as a way, like a headline.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. So Stewie Raper gets the job.
Yep.
When you said just then, if the person wanted me, like who wouldn't want an international back row?
Yeah, we never know because you don't know. Well, Chris leaves, they might come in and go, I've got my eye on these guys. They play that sort of position. He's got a clause to go. We might push him out the door.
Did you guys have any conversation when he came in and you met him? Was there anything like, I know you're a Chris guy, but was there any?
No, none of that sort of stuff. No, Stewie was really good. He just come in and set his stall out. This is how we're doing it. It's got his people in. Yeah. This is what we're going to do. Yeah, there was no. He had an early conversation and said, "Mate, I don't want you to go." Like, so whatever the newspapers are saying, like, we're not trying to force you out or do anything like that. We want you to stay.
It was an interesting time for the Sharks because we touched on it before about Chris coming in and changing the culture. I was going to point out to you, I'd never really heard the word culture in the NRL vocab until Chris came to the Sharks.
Yeah.
And the culture he's referring to is essentially not winning a comp, which is fair. Like we went close many times. But yeah, even now when I hear the word culture, I think of Chris Anderson. Not in a bad way, just like, it's an Opes thing. But what I was going to say was, so there was a line in the Sam Mayer, a lot of local juniors moved on, but then Stewie Raper comes in, one of our own, so to speak, and there was a feeling there like maybe it'll get back to how it was pre-Anderson, with local juniors coming through and that kind of thing. Whether that's the right way or the wrong way, it's history will tell. But tell us about Stewie as a coach. Like, what were the differences? How did he go? He was sort of younger in his career, obviously.
Yeah, he had a lot of success in England. And when he come back, he was good, Stu. He was put a lot on the senior players in a good way, like responsibility. That was his way of coaching. He had his meetings with Peach, Noddy, the senior guys, and then how we got to play, what's our style, and then he'd just tweak bits and pieces of what we needed to do. He had a good style, Stewie. A lot more relaxed than Opes in that regard. Yeah, like Opes is. Yeah, Stu did more on the field coaching, where Opes was more right. You guys sort of know what you're doing. We give you the rough outline. Assistant coaches do a lot of the coaching. I think we had the Lions or Welsh Rugby Union team or something come over at one stage, and they were like looking at the coaches going, well, which one's Chris Anderson? Right. Oh mate, he's the bloke up there on the hill with a bit of stick in his mouth with no shoes on. Like, and he was just sitting there on the hill, laying back with his hands like this, literally like that, just watching training. And they go, that's the head coach over there. These are the guys. So that was the difference, where Stu would be out there directing, so no, we need to get to this point, etc. A bit more hands-on, a bit more technical.
So we won one of the opening 5 against Manly at Shark Stadium. It's overall not a great year. Mainly we just couldn't string 3-4 games together. 05 is a better year. We just make the finals.
Yeah, we're limping in the semis, don't we?
It's the last season at Cronulla for Peachy and Jason Stevens. We start really well, but then we lost 3 of the last 10. But we get to the Dragons, again, one of my favourite games, down in Wollongong. Do you remember who your forward pack was that day? You played in the second row, I'm confident in saying.
I do not know, no.
So
Steve-O, Beats.
Steve-O was out, I believe.
Chris Beattie?
We got Galloway, young Galloway.
Yeah, Keithy, yeah.
Kevy Kingston and Dan Nutley, front row.
Yeah.
Back row, gives me chills just saying this. Gallen, Phil Luluai.
Oh, yes.
Don't mess with Phil Luluai.
Big filthy.
And you were locking the scrum.
Oh, wow.
And let's not leave Clifford Manua on the bench as well, one top hombre. So Dragons that year, premiership favourites, great team, should have done better.
Yep.
We're down in Wollongong, we got some injuries, and we physically smashed them. Yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We lose the game.
Yes, we were very physical.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Was that just the game plan?
Yeah. Well, they had enough class. They had more class than us at that stage. Yeah. So we just, they had Rolsey, all those.
They were all those
internationals.
Guys.
And we just knew we had to just bash them and hope that that'd do it.
Wearing the old jumpers as well.
Yeah, that was cool.
For the first time in a while.
That was really cool. Everyone loved that jumper.
Yeah.
Loved it. Even the players. I think Gal sold his after that as well too.
Doesn't surprise me. I shouldn't say that, Gal. Love you. But the whole thing was like us against them, local derby, sudden death, the old jerseys. And definitely, if you can find that one on the YouTube, go have a look, because it's a fantastic game. We do lose though, unfortunately. Then we go to 06. And it's your last year at the Sharks, correct? You will go on to play with Wigan in the Super League. Tell us about how that went down. Like, was you were off contract?
Yep.
Were you hoping to stay?
Hoping to, but Greg Pearce was really good. He was very open and transparent. He came to us at one stage. He said, "Look, Phil, I know you've got." So I had an offer from Catalan, Leeds, and then Wigan right at the death. Because Wigan were going really bad over there. They were at the bottom of the table. They're about to get relegated. So they were trying, right at the death, they started going, well, maybe just get some people over there now and see if we can get up.
Right.
And then they brought Stuart Fielden and they just snuck in to keep him out of relegation. But Greg come to us and just said, look, Bars, we can't keep you on the money you're on. So if you have, we get it. Like if you get a better offer and you do want to go, then it'll be with our blessing, because I'll be upfront with you, we just don't have the salary cap at the moment to keep you on the money on. So love to keep you, but if you want to leave, then we'll let you know. You can let us know.
Okay.
Yeah, so anyway, all that sort of, then a lot of pressure from Wigan. I was going to go to Catalan or Leeds, then it was Catalan, and then at the death, Wigan come in, and the great Maurice Lindsay. Yeah, always gives a bit more than everybody else, as everyone knows. And then I had to go to Stu and say, and Adrian Lamb was helping me a lot as well too, because he played at Wigan as well too. He was one of Stewie's assistants as well, who was a great mentor. He's a really good assistant coach, Lamb. He's really good. And went to Stu, and obviously Stu got sacked by Maurice Lindsay from Wigan, and he said, I know, it's a tough one, isn't it? I'd love to just say no, but he goes, in the end, you got my blessing. I'm not going to hold you back from going somewhere. Got a bit of a giggle about it.
I'm not sure if it's a highlight of the year, but there's video of you and Sonny Bill Williams having a stoush against Canterbury.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Mate, well, I remember Folksy after the game said, well, this is the first bloke ever to get 10 in the bin for like retaliating. We're getting pushed. Sorry, back in those days, like retaliating, we're getting pushed. The other. Anyway, so we both got 10 in the bin. But yeah, he pushed, I pushed back, and he let go. And I survived.
Did you watch his boxing career and go, I fought that guy?
Very quickly, yes.
So
Gal will take care of that for us.
Gal,
Yes.
yep, the great Gal. So last game is against Canberra.
Yep.
Down here. We lose in a close one. How are you feeling after that?
Yeah, well,
You resigned to
you're resigned to moving, but it's like my wife says all the time to me, says, you're like, you know how people get really high and really low? You're just there. He said, our family, the Bailey family, she says, you're just constantly in the middle. Like you don't get too high, you don't get too low.
Okay.
You just sit in the middle and you're very stable. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's how it was. It's like, I get it. Like it's not gonna be around forever.
Yeah.
I had a great time here. I'll always remember Cronulla. It's majority of my rugby league career, and then I'm onto something new.
Yeah, so off to the Super League. I mean, had you seen much Super League? Were you watching it? Was it on Fox? I got no idea at that time.
Yeah, it was on. I think it was on one of the channels.
Were you excited by the challenge?
It was good. It was really exciting because also too, look back to the older days, like 86. I remember because we were 6 years old, mum waking us up. Then it's 90, 94, and you got those great games. I used to play Wigan, and you'd be So that the history was really, really good. And at that time, a lot of players were going over.
Yeah.
The Pound was really well, doing really well.
Yeah.
So and the competition was pretty good. Like there was a lot of ex-NRL players. It wasn't the days of like, right, you're now 35 and you got to go for one last year.
Mm-hmm.
It was, they were in their prime, and go over and have another go at it.
And were you mainly a centre, or were you playing in the pack? Or
You played in the back row, centres, flipped around between back row and centres. Yep.
Okay. And when did you realise it was time as a player to call it a day?
I tore my Achilles in the Challenge Cup semis against Warrington.
Okay.
And that was it, pretty much. Like I just knew then, like, oh man, that's a big one to come back from at 29 or whatever it was, or 28. Got back pretty quickly in 2010. Michael Maguire came in 2010, and that was sort of my last year. I just limped through it. I remember come back probably too early, and because of a new coach, just the pressure was on to get out there, and that was his style. Like you had to train for everything. Yeah. And just did too much on it. It turned into sort of chewing gum, and I would get up in the morning and slide down the stairs on my backside until I sort of get going to get it. It was tough, but we won the grand final that year for Wigan. So I didn't participate in it, but got through most of the season before it then just it was cactus on me then.
And did you come back to Australia, or did you travel around a bit, or what did you
I actually signed with Salford. So for another 2 years, but I always had in the back of my mind, like when I finished my rugby league career, to join the military. Right. A very similar sort of, disciplines and fitness and like-minded people. So I applied for the Australian military. Wow. And quit my contract at Salford. I lived with Brian Carney for a few months and so.
Now I'm thinking of you and Matt Johns back when you were younger. Now with Carney.
Never a dull moment. And I trained to join the army. So when I did my recruiter's interview, all that sort of stuff. And then in the end, they just said, look, lower leg injury, probably got to rule you out. And then I had another revival, because when I was leaving the interview, a guy comes and said, the same bloke who played footy, like, mate, I reckon I can ring Canberra and get you a waiver. And then you might have to get some medical certificates, but at least you get you through to the next one. They'll probably push you through to, I think 2 Commando at that stage had a direct entry. They said, you just got to be a little bit older, but if Canberra says yes, and we might as well put you through. And in the end, the process, so I just trained for that sort of stuff. And then at the end, they said, no, we have a lot of very fit people who are joining us. And the wars are on at the moment, so they said, there's a lot of people joining up, and a lot of very, very good people. And they said, so we don't need people who are already broken.
Was that something you'd always had your eye on?
Yeah, always, It just sort of sat in the back. I remember when I was a kid at school, they'd say, what do you got to be when you go up? So, I'll be a footy player or join the army. And they go, first thing I say is like, well, there ain't no NRL teams in Inverell, so you're not going to do that. 2, armies for people who can't get another job. So then I used to say, I'll just be a carpenter and just keep it to yourself and run off. And it inspires you a little bit more to...
That's cool, you went for it,
Yeah. Well, that's what I said to someone. I said, yeah, I didn't get accepted, I failed, but at least I know I had to go, and they said no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about how you end up in the coaching and high performance roles.
Yes. So London, we're looking for just a bit of help with like recruitment, etc. So my brother was playing down at the time, so they asked for a bit of an interview, had an interview, did that, then just started working on recruitment and retention for London. So I got Gowie, knowing Gowie from the Kangaroo Tour. I asked him, and anyway, he came across from his French rugby, played at London. We got a couple of Manly players as well too, and just started to work into that space for a little bit.
So you were essentially, I'm not talking this down, but it was an admin role.
Yeah, definitely admin, all admin. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, all admin, and then just assisting the coach with just little bits. Like he was very good, Rob Powell. He was young and learning as well. So, well, what were you doing? You just come out of this Wigan environment. We're at London. Like we don't do that. So we just pretty much said, well, this is what we used to do. This is what we did in the NRL. Here's the little things we're being taught. It gave him a direct line to Matty John, so we could ring Matty and go, oh mate, like, did you watch our game? Yes, mate. I saw your game. This is where you're going wrong. You know.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how it's sort of.
And you tell us about Hong Kong.
Honkers, yeah. Went to New York first. So met my wife when I was living in London. I had to go and get my visa turned around. And the quickest place to do it was New York City. So over we went, met her, got together. Then we're doing the long distance thing for a while. She said, I'm not going to move to London. So if you want to make this work, got to move to New York. So just quit, packed, went to New York. Yeah.
Greatest city in the world.
Greatest city in the world, it sure is.
Well, some say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of them.
Very
as I say, there's 8 million stories in New York. This is one of them. And you can talk to anyone, and the things that happen, there's every day there's something happening.
Okay. And were you just living your life with your partner and just...
No, I had a plan, so I needed to do something when I was over there. So I knew Matt Astle, he used to be a lower grade Manly player. He owned a bar called The Australian in New York City. So touched base with him to start with. Then there was a couple of Irish mates, Brian Cunny's brothers, both lived in New York City. They knew some people at the New York Athletic Club who have a rugby program, reached out to them, met some guys, gave them my CV. They said, oh yeah, man, we'll get you over to play a game. You want to play rugby for us? So I did. I played rugby union for the New York Athletic Club for a year.
How was the body in that? I know it's less...
It was very amateur rugby. So I just stood out there and passed.
Catch and pass,
Yeah, and then if you're in the centres, I played centres, so it wasn't too hard. When we went down to, where did we go down to? Atlanta and places like that, there were some big kids, man. And it was, I wasn't getting tackled by them. No way. Playing on artificial grass. So did that, and the next year they just said, oh, well, how about you just coach us instead? So we did that. And that led into the USA Eagles said, we need a defensive coach for the 2015 World Cup. So then I did all I think from about 2013, we prepped for the World Cup in 2015 and went and did that in London.
And what was that like when you went back and you seeing obviously all your old mates, footy mates? Like were they like, what the hell are you doing here? With the Eagle?
Oh, no, it was the rugby union.
Rugby union.
Rugby union 2015. So the only person I met was Wingy. He's playing for Japan, So I saw him over there and Eddie Jones as well. So but it was great. It was a great experience. Like the World Cup rugby union is, even if you don't like union, it's worth going to the event. Yeah.
Okay.
It was really good fun.
And then 2020, you end up back home, so to speak, with the Waratahs.
Yes, I went to Hong Kong for a little bit.
Sorry, tell us about Hong Kong.
Yeah, so after the World Cup, then Hong Kong wanted to try and do the same thing as America did, trying to get themselves a World Cup. So they asked if I want to go and coach the Hong Kong Football Club. My wife and I said, yeah, let's give it a go. We're going to live in Hong Kong for a couple of years. We did that. It was great. It was a great experience, Hong Kong. We were the Hong Kong Footy Club, which sits in the middle of Happy Valley Racecourse. And it's a private members club, and it's got a football field, like a rugby union field. There's a couple of them in the middle there. It was great. It was fantastic. Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Good 2 years, and then we had our first little guy over there, and we decided we'd move back to Australia. It was either New York or Australia. My wife said, healthcare, better weather. Let's go to Australia to raise a family. So we did that. And then when I got back, when I was in Hong Kong, the great thing about their schedule was very short. So then we got to travel Europe, places like that. So I met Scott Wiseman, who's one of the assistants at Para now.
Okay.
But he used to play for Para, and then he's done a heap of coaching rugby union from like Montpellier, a lot of the Waratahs, things like that as well too. He was over there at the time. Frank Panisi put me in touch with him. So we go over there for a bit of personal development. There was a French guy named Thierry Barrault in Hong Kong. he knew some of the Racing 92 guys, so then we'd go over and just learn from them and embed ourselves in France for a while. And my wife would go see the sites, and I'd go to training every day and learn from them. Met Ron Nogara at 92 and Racing 92, and just met a lot of great people around it. And then it's time to come home.
So Waratahs, was that?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Czech tried to get me in the Waratahs earlier, like Michael Checker. And it just didn't work. And this time they got a new coach, and I was sort of looking for a part-time defensive coach. So I had a job already. So I just did it part-time. And I remember after about the first 3 weeks or so, I rang Denny Badiris and I said, Bedsy, I said, mate, you did this at the Brumbies, hey? And he goes, mate, this is completely different. Like, you're sort of, it's just not right, and it's I can't get a say.
Is it more technical or something?
They make it more technical. The better coaches, like the All Blacks, don't make it more technical. They just do what Melbourne do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, very. Yeah, you know, you don't even have to go back 10 metres. You just stand on the advantage line.
Yeah.
And it's still changing. It was just difficult. Like you had weight, you just couldn't implement anything. And Bedsy just said to me, Buzz, I've lived that. I'll give you the one bit of advice: just stick to your guns, and they might get rid of you, but just stick to your guns.
Okay.
Because you know what. You know how to defend, and the rugby league, that's what's all built on. Yeah, and that's what they steal from. But they need to take the whole package, not just pieces of it. Because it won't work.
Okay.
Yeah,
and how did it go?
Not good. No. No. And I didn't have. It was a very difficult time. There was good people there. I met Mark Bell, and Chris Whittaker was there as well too. He was a very good bloke. Shane Smith was there as well as a footy manager, and Tim Rapp as well. So some friends that we all get together now still, which is great.
Yeah.
But it was just clunky. It didn't work. They weren't having a good season. The coach was under a lot of pressure as well. Yeah. He rang me with, mate. And I said, no, mate, I'll quit. Done. I'll make your job easy for you. And off I went. And it was a guy. I knew it was the right decision because as soon as I said the words, they come out of my mouth. I went, done. Beautiful.
Yeah, right. Where were you living in 2016? Remind me.
2016, I was in Hong Kong.
Okay.
Yep.
And were you watching a lot of rugby league?
We watched it. They watched it religiously at the Hong Kong Football Club. Very old school English club. Mm-hmm. So it was always rugby union, rugby league on, and we watched it all. At the Hong Kong Footy Club, yeah.
And how were you thinking during the season? Were you like, these guys can go all the way? Or
yes, it was such a good side, and led by Gal, and it was fantastic. Gal and Birdie. I still remember, heart was in my throat when it was Will Chambers who went through and had Cooper Cronk on the inside, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
People don't talk about that enough.
He's going to give that ball and they're going to score under the sticks. And he dummied and he went, who hit him?
Probably Ben Barber.
But just dropped him. And it's just like, they've lost it.
I'm nervous you just said it. Yeah, people don't talk about it. And Cooper Cronk is literally waving his hands.
He could have thrown it to Cooper and thrown it back, but hey.
Oh, just one pass there.
Yeah. I'm saying that's how much time he had.
Yeah, sure.
But the big stage, and it was,
So run us through. So you were at that club watching
it? At the Hong Kong Footy Club watching it. Yeah.
Was there a crowd? Were people?
Yeah, I was packed. Yeah, packed. Everyone wanted heaps of English, so they're bagging everything. So they would, as they always do. So they were definitely not going for Melbourne. They all wanted Cronulla to win.
Yeah, nice.
And it was great.
Were people aware of your history with the club?
Yeah.
So they were kind of making a fuss of you?
Not a fuss of me, no, not at all. But they were happy. Everyone was very happy to see Cronulla win. It was one of those ones where, you know how some, team wins, everyone's sort of divided.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody was super happy that the Cronulla won.
Were you in touch with any old teammates at that time? You send Gal a text or anything? Or
I don't know. I can't remember. No. Don't know.
Okay.
No.
I'm not going to ask you what you did that night because I can imagine you just partying hard. Usually I want to know. I want to know what part of the league club you're in. Obviously, you're in Hong Kong. But how did you feel at full time? Like, must have been. Were you proud, happy?
It was amazing. Yeah, it was so good. It was so good to see people that you played with get there as well too. Yeah. Especially Birdie, Gal were two big ones. Like they were, such from coming in at the same sort of time, and just watching their longevity and how well they played. And I caught up with Bertie a few times when he was playing for Catalan, I was playing for Wigan. So we all sort of kept in touch around when we needed to. And it's one of those things, like I just saw Ben Pomeroy out there then. Coming, he was just cruising through. So yeah, it's like you just pick up where you left off. Have a quick catch up, but it was great. Great times.
Cool. Well, let's talk about the Great Whites. That's why we're here to talk about the old boys. With Ash, our historian, and myself, we're doing with the club these interviews with you guys. What does that mean to you as far as the organisation, the Great Whites?
I think it's great recognition for a lot of clubs are starting to do it, like, with the Fogs and their old boys, which is great because it's a good community. Like, you're in it for so long, your head's down, then you pop up, and all of a sudden there's a lot of guys who a bit rudderless. Because you're around so many like-minded people with the one goal. When you go out into the civilian world, as or even just to the normal workforce, you can find people. You all work the same job. You're probably all trying to get to the same place, but at different levels you want to get there. Yeah. And sometimes it's just a job. It's just you just don't have that. Everyone's not just locked in to the same goal.
I can't imagine many jobs where it's similar to being a footy player in a competitive professional team.
And the good thing, and the thing about it as well too, is accountability. That's the best thing about sport, is that the bureaucracy, you can still have it, but you win or lose out there and everybody can see. Everybody. So you can't fluff it up or whatever because everybody can see the result. Well, when it comes to business, you can, hide in the grey the whole time and bamboozle everyone with yoga babble, and you sort of just cruise your way through it, and the job still gets done. Mightn't be as efficient as it needs to be. Yeah. But here it's just, that's it. You see the result. You see the hard work. It pays off. There it is. Done.
Have you been to many of the old boys gatherings?
I haven't. I went to Sammy Eismunger organised one maybe a couple of years ago. We were sat in the south, sort of stood in the south area, south stand down there, and just, it was a great catch up. We went to Woolworth Golf Course. Saw heaps of people we haven't seen for ages. Awesome. But Pom just said that as well too. So we've got to get this old boys thing going and get the WhatsApp messages and get everyone in. Well,
I mean, you guys do your own one, but there's definitely one every year where they encourage everyone, whatever grade you're in. And so we're not sure when it'll be next year, but we definitely want you there. I'm going to ask you one more question. It's got nothing to do with rugby league. I haven't prepped you on it. Yep. I've got a feeling you got a good answer for me though. My other world is music. I love music.
Yes.
Who's your favourite artist or band of all time?
Favourite artist is Springsteen. Our favourite band of all time is Oasis.
Okay, cool. The reason I have been waiting to ask this question for like 25 years is because I read, in the big league or whatever, you're doing your thing and you put Bruce Springsteen. Yeah. And he's my absolute hero in life. Yeah. So the fact that you're still into him.
I know, mate.
Come on.
Well, I can tell you when I got into Bruce Springsteen.
Please.
I was sitting in Inverell. It was my 15th birthday. We're coming up to it. And this Bruce Springsteen's greatest hits come on TV, like as an ad, like bang. I just was like, what I was doing, I just still remember going, boom. What's that? Like, I hadn't heard any of his songs. Mm-hmm. So then Mum heard me, how good's that? And she got it for me in a CD for my birthday. I went through it and then I went through the back catalogue. So I started with his greatest hits and then walked it all the way back to Greetings from Asbury Park, Greetings, the Wild East Street Shuffle, and then all the way through. But then what I found was what he was singing about was my town was similar to his town. Yeah. So we had abattoirs that employed nearly everyone, or you work for the council, or there was a sort of bit of farming here, bits and pieces. There's dog food factory, and he had the same sort of stuff. So and I just remember as a kid, like, there's got to be somewhere better. Like, this is all right. Like, this is good. I had a great upbringing, but man, there's a bigger world out there. There's something out there.
That's awesome. And he's singing about it.
Yeah, and he's singing about it. So when I looked out my window, it was like he was singing exactly what was in my head.
Yeah, that's so cool. You've seen him play. My dad. You've seen him play.
I have. I saw him in 2003, maybe, when he was in Sydney.
At SCG,
Yeah, SCG. So I saw him there.
In New York?
No, I went to the Stone Pony in Jersey. Ooh. Yeah, went on the boardwalk. My wife has a couple of friends from Jersey, and we were there. And I went to the Stone Pony. They were playing. It's awesome. And I asked the studio, man, is Bruce Springsteen, does he really come here? He goes, Bruce Springsteen was here yesterday. Yeah. I was like, no way. He goes, no, he was. He comes up here, has a few beers, and every now and then he'll just be like that guy who comes up and goes, I'll jam for you, with the local band. Yeah. Play a few songs.
Wow, he missed him by one night.
Yeah, by one night. He goes, he was definitely here last night. I wouldn't lie to you, man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is that the only time you've seen him in 03?
That's the only time I've seen him in 03.
Okay.
And then his later stuff, where he's a bit too politicised.
Yeah, he gets a bit political.
It's a bit too. I don't know. It's like all good artists, I think. The struggle makes them, and they've got great stuff to write about. But no one wants to hear you're a billionaire and you're writing about how hard it is.
Don't start talking smack about Bruce Springsteen. Let's stay positive. No, I know.
I agree.
Understand.
But he has, it's very good stuff.
Did you go see Oasis?
No, had a ticket, but we could. My brother got it for me. Couldn't get their kids had some stuff on, so they take priority.
Okay, of course.
Yeah, but I have seen them before.
Yeah.
I saw their I think one of their last gigs in Eaton Park in Manchester.
Wow.
And it was heaving. We went there as like Sean O'Loughlin, Joel Tompkins, a few other blokes, and it was one of the best. I think the Kaiser Chiefs were like the warm-up act, another 3 better bands, like big bands that could headline them by themselves. Yeah. And then they come out, and it was, as night fell, and it was anarchy. Yeah, right. It was so good. And I think it might have been the night they had one of their biggest blues, and that was sort of split swags. But I remember me and Chris Aston getting pinned against a tree by a police horse. And everything was happening. Yeah, it was great.
You got the wrong guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Phil Bailey, on that note, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Shark 345. We'll see you at the reunion next year, though. I'm confident.
Done. Sounds good.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.